Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to Torment Tides of Numenera Beta. We have been exploring the reef here, and we found a few interesting objects. We got an ecstasy glass, and a time step blood stem, and infused our crystalline shard. But there's still more to explore, and we should get to it. Ooh, we can look at that. A yawning intake marks the front of a long-dead construct. Inside, the metal is pitted, black, and ancient. Okay. A cable connects this spout to the collection device. The nozzle looks like it may have been attached to another machine at one time. The strange lines and rippling forms of the sunken buildings are dramatically different from the architecture above the waterline. So there is cities or buildings or something underneath the water here. This device is collecting black goop from somewhere underwater and pumping it to the nearby spout. Okay, which is these things, I guess, that are rising, or maybe to this. Not quite sure. Is this a door? This metal door is thick, heavy, and unmarked by time. Double rows of circular bumps run horizontally and vertically along its surface. It is firmly sealed. Alright, examine it. The metal surface is infused with minuscule threads that are barely visible to the human eye. They only run in straight lines and right angles, and they seem to converge at the circular bumps. Upon closer inspection, you notice that each of the bumps is unique. Some have flat faces, others are actually many-sided polygons, and a few are marked by tiny apertures. Unfortunately, you don't see anything that resembles a knob, keyhole, or access device. You try touching both the flat panes of the door and the small bumps, but nothing happens. Well, as we have learned, we examine things multiple times. The metal is infused. Okay. Alright, so basically saying the same thing again this time. Knock on the door. You knock, lightly at first, then harder. The door makes no sound at all, nor does it shudder or yield. There's no one home, dear. Hasn't been for thousands of years. She peers at the door. One of my colleagues at the Order claimed that she got inside, but I don't believe her. Look one more time, please. And same thing. Well, let's leave it alone. For now, at least. Can we do anything else here? No. Alright, well, this is a dead end then. Let's go back. Looked at that. Well, let's go up here. Ooh, a die. Although this cube hovers in the air, you can feel the ground shudder with its vibrations. Okay, and another spout here. A long cable extends from this spout, but at the point where it dips below the water, it's been snapped in half. This massive construct was trying to climb across the top of the reef when it died. Its surface is pocked with tiny scars and scorch marks. So is this like a mech or a Jaeger type thing? Some sort of war machine of old? It's the same. Yeah, the same trigger there. Ooh, we got something we can interact with here that's pulsing purple. There is a shallow depression in the surface here, like many others scattered around the construct. Unlike the others, energy still pulses across this one at random intervals. There is a loose lens at the center of the depression. You think you could redirect it somewhere more useful, but it'll be tricky to get it between the energy pulses. Well, we've been fairly lucky so far. Let's try to redirect the lens with our quick fingers. And we will indeed spend effort. Our pool's going down quickly. Success! With careful timing, it is easy to twist the lens into what is hopefully a more favorable position. The lens glows, warning of an impending energy pulse. The field of energy extends outwards, and finding a human body encases it entirely in a mystical suit of armor. The energy keeps flowing until the entire body is covered. Then, the shallow depression becomes dark and dormant. Oh, we got armor? So we got cipher sickness, but we've also got armor absorption. I'm guessing the cipher sickness is because it says we're carrying too many of these ciphers. Probably 2 is okay, but 3 is too many. Because I didn't get that until I picked up the 3rd one, I think. What's this? Oh. Hello. This feels like a fight. Or a crisis, as they refer to in this game. Koro. As you step onto what looks like the back of the enormous construct, 4 strangers approach you. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on gray gloves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something to you when he notices Calloused Egg. Cal, I thought you'd sworn off traveling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down both you and Allegrin. Odds and ends, Koro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she has gone quite still. Is something wrong? Nothing's wrong, dear. I accompanied Koro on an expedition once, long ago. His methods were too crass for my tastes. Though in his defense, he never tried to kill me when my back was turned. She beams at Koro, or if he did, he failed, and I didn't notice. I don't like this. Allegrin hisses in your ear, but loud enough that Calloused Egg can hear too. If she's cagey about him, it can only mean trouble. You should hear what I tell people about you, dear. She gives Allegrin a venomous smile. Killer or not, she whispers, Koro is not a man who can be trusted with unvarnished truth. Tread lightly. All right. May we pass? Oh, of course. But first a question. One traveler to another. There was a falling star that landed near here not long ago. I was wondering if you knew anything about it. So, we can't trust him with unvarnished truth, she says. So, what are those gloves for? Let's try to distract him. Unwelcome but anticipated complications. He does not elaborate. He does so love his ambushes, Calloused Egg whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she isn't looking at you. Oh, one of her images does then, I guess? He didn't have the gloves when I knew him last, but I'd wager they're connected to the devices in this area. So, Koro says, apparently unaware of Calloused Egg's interruption, the star. Have you seen it? Well, we can try to deceive and say we don't know where it landed. Nice scars. How did you get them? 2 things are more dangerous than death in this world, he says, his smile widening. Asking impolite questions of strangers, and playing with Numenera you don't fully understand. My error was in the latter category, and I've grown more careful since. Okay. So we're going to try to lie to him, since that's what we were advised to do. I'll be honest with you. I saw the star, but I don't know where it landed. And it's hard, so we're going to at least try to bring it down to challenging. And it didn't work. Well, that's fine. That's our first failure, I think. You have such an honest face. Lies don't belong on it. Let's be truthful with each other. Fallen star. So he knows where the star? Or what they're calling the star? That's weird. You have 2 choices here, and both of them are dreadful. He holds up a finger. First option. You surrender to us, and we convey you to my employer for, well, Experimentation, dissection. Frankly, it's not pretty. But there it is. He holds up a second finger. Second option. We kill you and the old man. Try not to kill Calloused Egg and bring your body to our employers anyway. He winks at Calloused Egg. Apologies, sweetie. Or sweetness, as it says. Allegrin whirls on Calloused Egg, his face tight with fury. You told him we were here, didn't you? You couldn't resist selling me out one more time. Are you really so paranoid? She sighs in exasperation. Darling, she says to Koro, take your thugs and go home. Otherwise, we'll have to rip you to pieces. And the world is already so untidy. Koro clenches his gloved fist, and a soft whistle pierces the air. What do you say, Fallen Star? I'm not going anywhere with you, fella. What a shame, Koro says and glances at his companions. Now! Alright, so we are in a crisis. I guess now we get to try out our new stuff. Tidal Surge. That seems powerful. Though it is going to hurt our companions. Let's move here first. Maybe it has a range that we're just not aware of. Then we'll go ahead and do it. No, it hurt them. Well, that's not too bad as far as that goes. Oh, it's still us. Can we attack now? We can. We will spend more points as well. Let's hit this guy. Oh, wow. 14 out of 17 damage. Koro's turn. You're tough, Koro says. I'll give you that. But we ain't finished yet. He pulls out a can of spray flash and quickly applies it to his ally's wound. As he does so, you sense a regenerative field from the construct that could enhance the recuperative effect. You feel a surge of power, like when you drove away the sorrow fragments. You can't stop Koro's action, but you could disrupt the field. So we don't have the Tidal Affinity skill. But let it happen. It wouldn't help them any. Or it won't help them any. That gives us experience too, so we'll go with that since it's our only option. Didn't I tell you, lads? Happened to me once before. Something in the reef interacting with the spray, I'll bet. Now, take them. Okay, well, I guess we'll see how tough we are. I only healed him 6, so that's not super enhancing, I guess. Haha, this Tidal Surge is pretty strong, it looks like. Well, let's get Allegrin here. See, he's got living tattoos. And this is... looks like it's a buff and it doesn't even consume an action. He can hide. He can try to spot hidden enemies. He can heal, dazzle, stun, and he can heal someone else. Let's do the tattoos, since it doesn't use an action, and then we'll try to finish Ixa off here. And we'll spend our might pool to make it easier. And flanked, so Ixa is down and out. Gewin's turn. He is hiding, or she is hiding, I couldn't really tell. And it's Calloused Egg's turn. What abilities do you have? You can hide, you can search, you can heal yourself. Onslaught. 4 physical damage. Okay. You can teleport to a spot. Or you can make things more vulnerable. Can we just attack? Because we got a ranged attack. You can talk to him as well, it looks like. Let's talk to him. Oh, you have to walk up to do that? Didn't know that. Might not have done it. Take them down, Koro shouts to his colleagues. We need that fallen star. Tell him he's going to get him and his friends killed. Okay? Oh, wow. Oh, so this is her that's doing it. And she can spend 2 levels of effort. Well, let's take it to challenging then. Critical success. Oh, wow, she rolled really good on that then. Koro, dear, this is foolishness. Your employers cannot have paid you enough to fight a regenerative cast-off and me. Okay? I guess I'm just swinging this stick for fun over here. Surely you're clever enough to know your life is not worth this risk? Koro studies you and your companions with new eyes. You can almost see the fight go out of him. Aye, you might be right about that, Cal. He shouts to his colleagues. We weren't paid for a fight to the death. Let's leave these explorers to their own. Okay, 25 EXP. We killed one of them. And it looks like I lost my armor that I gained from this little thing here. Still, we got through that pretty well, which is good. Allegrin crosses his arms. Well, isn't that convenient? Excuse me, are you suggesting I had something to do with Koro's plans? Are you suggesting you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, as we return from the greatest find the reef has seen in years. It's too convenient for me. Too convenient by far. I convinced him to leave us alone. Of course you did, after you saw your plan wasn't going to work. He throws up a hand, forestalling Calloused Egg's retort. Look, I don't care. Fact is, I can't trust you anymore, and I wonder why I ever did. This is the last we'll travel together. I've got enough to worry about without having to watch my back 28 hours a day. He turns to you. You coming, kid, or what? Well, I really don't think she was trying to betray us. He snorts bitter laughter. I do. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths. Not 1/20th. She's a backstabbing bitch. Mark my words. You are insufferable to the end, Allegrin. Looking for the worst in a situation is the only way you know to see. Do you know how long I've carried your pain for you? How much I've had to turn away from your judgmental stares? But you're right. I've had enough. She turns to you. Child, I am happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Okay, so I've got to make a choice here between these two, it looks like. Finally, something we agree on, he growls. Kid, she'll chop your head off and spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go, and let you sleep at night to boot. It's up to you. You're both interesting. I won't argue that. Why can't I travel with you both? Can't we just work it out? She bursts out laughing. My dear boy, we have been working it out. Allegrin's petulance, his obstinacy in the face of fact, drive me away every day. He might be strong, but he's also thick. I dare you to try traveling with him, and see how long you endure. Not as long as I have, I'll wager. His face darkens under her accusations, but he manages a pained smile. As if you're doing me a favor by staying with me. You think I don't see your true self and all those echoes around you? That's you, Calloused Egg. Every facet of it. Your vivisectionist heart hasn't changed. Just the way you present it. I thought I could help you, but... I'm gonna choose Calloused Egg, at least this first time. He seems on the verge of explosion, and then pulls himself together. Right. Well, if you want me, and she doesn't sell you for parts, you can find me in the underbelly. But not with her, mind you. So, you'll come with me later too if I want you, but not while I've got her with me. I guess it goes both ways. I'll let you know what you've missed, Allegrin. I'm sure you won't be. Missed, that is. She links her arm possessively into yours. Let's go, child. Okay. We have a world to conquer. So I'll have to do this again just to see what the differences is between having them. If it's like the first one, we can have multiple companions. Just apparently these two will refuse to travel together. Can we get some loot here? A shin, I guess that's money, and a great sword. Okay. Where'd the great sword go? Did I not take it? Has she got it? Oh, she picked it up. It's a heavy weapon. Okay. Oh, so she can equip it. Is she trained in heavy weapons? +1 initiative. Probably don't want her to be using that. Okay. Well, we can't use heavy weapons without penalties, so we won't use that. Alright, what more is there to do here? Alright, same thing. A spherical head hangs loosely from this stanchion. A single metal fiber holds it in place. Can we do anything with that? Where is this spherical head? Okay, never mind. A sickly green crust scabs over numerous cracks and divots in this turret. Doesn't look like there's anything more that can be done here. No. Alright, let's head up the stairs, shall we? Okay. Where are we? Have you got anything to say, Calloused Egg? Yes, child. Yeah, tell me about Koro. He's a knave and a blackguard, and one of the best when it comes to Numenera. The absolute best, of course, being myself. The more you say it, the less I believe you. Where we are right now. She takes a quick look around, as if sizing up your surroundings. He's just tried to kill us, hasn't he? She shakes her head. What does that mean? I mean, he attacked us. Are you referring to the area we're in? I don't understand. He's a dangerous fool, and we're well to be rid of him. Okay, well, what about the Order of Truth? I do hope we will go there soon, she says, waving her hand in the Order's general direction. I have some papers to collect, and it would do well for you to meet my colleagues. Adventurers and deep thinkers all, unlike some, though Allegrin is of course a dear example of why we continue to strive as ardently as we do. So, will you tell me your story now? Oh, you know, this and that. Lady raised in high society, becomes renowned intellectual, goes on to humiliate her peers, etc. She glances at you as if gauging your interest. Of course, I am exceptional, but my story less so. It would bore you to tears, no doubt. Okay, well, where did you grow up then? Why, here. She holds out her hands and completes a graceful pirouette. The walls of Sagus were my cage until, like a bird, I took flight. Figuratively, you understand. I speak of knowledge, not mere physical movement. I grew beyond the Grand Library in short order, and was soon writing texts for it myself. Okay. Well, what did you study? Oh, everything. She seems surprised by your question. Everything I could get my hands on. The skies, the earth, the water, the secret of life itself. She smiles fondly at a memory she chooses not to share. Then one day, I came across a theory of alternate worlds. Not merely those that came before, but those that exist now, and which continue to exist. I rather think your sire may have had something to do with it. Needless to say, it became my main point of study, and here we are. Okay, so you are thinking about other parallel dimensions sort of thing? I guess with your people around you? Okay. And how did you meet Allegrin? The look in her eyes sharpens, hardens. That is not a tale worth telling, or not here at any rate. The man has friends in this city yet, and we both have our reasons for wanting to conceal the past. I advise you to let it rest. You catch a flash of green from beneath her eyelashes as she lowers her head demurely. For now. Yeah, I'm beginning to think I may have made the wrong choice. You seem to be very shifty, Calloused Egg. Though maybe you'll be entertaining as well. Other questions. So, how are you holding up? You have your charms, and they're a fair few more than most. I suppose I could say I enjoy your company, but we're beyond such trivial panderings, of course. Alright, and what should we do next? I guess you're going to tell me to go see the Order. We should visit the Order of Truth to discern whether any there may have more experience with the changing God's various devices. It may be his plans for the chamber you destroyed are still present somewhere in the city. Alright. Well, that's all I wanted to know. Let's move on. Lots of people here. Otero. Oh, we can look at this archway here. Twin creatures of a type you've never seen flank a central orb. Their cultural significance lost on you. Yeah, what are those, like dragons, sort of? With horns? Can we talk to Otero? Wind spins off the distant sea, sweeping between you and the boy, whistling up toward the peaks of Sage's Cliffs. He glances at you, then at the crowds in the plaza beyond. He appears to be looking for someone. Saw you wandering down in the reef, he says. Did you get to that star before the others did? He looks back at your face and grins. Guess not. That isn't a face that's found good pick. A lot of people went looking for the star, did they? Nah, not too many. Gotta be a cracker to get down to the reef. That place is haunted. But despite his harsh words, his eyes settle on yours, studying, deciding. His mouth settles into an irritated line. Look, he says, running a hand over his stubbled scalp. You hide it well, but I can tell you're new here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving new folk to Sages on their own. If you have questions about the city, or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer 'em free of charge. Of course, it looks like you already have a guide, he says, nodding at Calloused Egg. Calloused Egg? Hello, dear, your companion says politely before turning to you. Otero knows this city better than almost anyone, and it's quite unlike him to give anything away for free, let alone his terribly valuable advice. Do take him up on his offer. Okay. Nice of you to say, Otero says, eyeing you. Well, so, I guess, do you live here? I guess he does. Not really, he says. Walls are nice, but they keep you in one place. I like to move around, explore. So you don't have a home? Don't need one, he says. I carry my life with me. He pats his bags. Okay, so I'm looking for the cult of the changing god. I didn't know I was, but that's an option. Well, you're not going to be able to miss 'em, he says, smirking. They're camped around that weird clock on the side of the square. He settles his hands on his hips. What do you want with those carcass anyway? They owe you something? Yes, I'm the changing god, I guess. I just need to ask them a few questions. Fair enough, he says, shrugging. Even carcass get it right sometimes. Okay, so we're in Circus Minor now? Yeah, the heart of the city, he says, folding his arms. The levies and politicians will tell you that Government Square is the center of Sage's Cliffs, but they're not thinking right. He spreads his hands, framing the plaza. When folk come to Sages, they come here. They talk and trade, flirt and fight, tell stories. Everyone who comes here leaves different. His hands fall. Anyway, what do you want to know? Okay, well, what's happening on that stage over there? An execution, he says, rolling his eyes. It'll be going on for a few days yet. All those folks think they'll learn great truths from the nightmares of a dying man. He shakes his head. It's not worth my time, but it might be worth yours if you haven't seen one before. Okay. So does anyone around here know how to fix complex machinery? He says, scanning the plaza. Prada. That's the bug lady in the market. It's pretty good with machines. You might ask her for advice. He rubs the back of his neck. Otherwise, you'll want to visit the foreman in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it, if they can stop fighting long enough. So, something else. She can take us to the Order of Truth. Don't really need to ask him about that. What can you tell me about the city? Depends on what you want to know, he says. I spend most of my time in Circus Minor, but there's other districts too. Government Square, Cliff's Edge, the Underbelly, the Caravansary? I guess that's what that's supposed to be. I don't know. He scratches his chin. There's also the Reef of Fallen Worlds, but you've already been down there. Okay. Well, what is Cliff's Edge? A damn dangerous place to live, he says, laughing. Folks build their houses out on the ledge, over the sea, and everyone gets upset when one of them falls. He sighs. I hear it's been getting worse lately. Watch your feet up there. Good advice. What about the underbelly? Imagine an underground place where the city sends everyone they don't like. Cannibal cultists, mutants, carkers and thugs, cynical old men. Now, add a stink like burning metal and cooking meat, and that's the underbelly. Sounds like a wonderful place. We should definitely visit there very far in the future and not immediately. So, Government Square. I did. Yeah, yes, you mentioned Government Square. Bet you can guess what's up there. Yeah, the government. So, tell me about the Caravansary. He turns a scornful eye toward the distant flags on a high crag. Plenty to see right here in Sages. Don't know why people insist on leaving. Okay. Guess that's a traveling sort of thing there. Okay, tell me about the reefs. I've already been down there, but you can tell me what you think about it. Only carkers, slavers, bullies, and diggers desperate enough for scrounds go there, he coughs. And you, of course. He stares past you down the winding steps. Besides, folks think it's haunted by ghosts and from the previous worlds, and I've seen enough down there to agree with them. But you don't need me telling you what it's like. You're lucky you didn't get robbed on your way back. Or worse. Okay. Yeah, someone named... I guess... Should we lie? She trusts this kid. I'm assuming he's a kid. Seems to be. Smaller than us. Someone named Koro tried to rob us on the way up. I think he ended up regretting it, though. He did, Otero says, snickering. Scrambled up those steps like the sea itself was after him. Okay, well, goodbye. Thanks for the information. See you around, Otero. And I will see you guys around as well. We're going to call this video here for right now. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like below. It really does help. Consider subscribing to the channel to be notified when I upload new content. And until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.